Welcome back to Gaming with Pun. In today's video we are going to be covering my mostly finished build for mod 18 and going into mod 19. This is how I'm going to be running, barring any changes that are made via patches or anything like that. Have done quite a bit of stat balancing and upgrading. So this is going to be a full build review and explanation of everything. So this may be a little bit longer of a video, but we're going to try and keep it as short as possible. So we're just going to go ahead and jump right in. So first off, we're just going to take a quick look at my current stats, and then we will get into the build. So strength 31, con 30, dex 19. Look at ability scores, still all strength and con. Strength for the stamina regeneration and physical damage boost, and constitution of course for the maximum hit points. Taking a look at my other stats, you can see power 125k, armor pen 81, defense 100, crit strike 79, critical avoidance is 82, accuracy 77, deflect 71, combat advantage 85, awareness 59. And just to take a look at a couple of our other important stats, our companion influence is 30%, our incoming healing bonus is 14.5%, and our stamina regeneration is 28%. Also crit severity 92%. This is a fairly important stat, so just mentioning that as well. Alright, so just to jump right into the build, we're going to start at the very back with the mounts and just work our way all the way up. So we are still using Stalwart, the 25,000, do not have the 50,000 yet, so we're just using this. Still using the Tensor's Transformation as our active skill. And in our stable we are still using 2 Survivor's Blessings, 2 Barbarian's Revelries, and 1 Gladiator's Guile. And all of our insignias are still either Prosperity, Dominance, or Fortitude. Moving on to companions. Active companion or summoned companion is still Bullet Pup, still best in slot, and we'll continue using that until something changes there. All rank 15 bondings. We have made some changes to our companion gear, balancing our stats. So currently we are using the Ivy Grown Talisman of the Companion, crit strike and accuracy with empowered runestones. Still using the Briarvine Sword Knot of the Companion, critical avoidance and deflection, and we are currently using enigmatic runestones here to make up for some of the critical avoidance that we lost by switching out a piece of gear. Once this Briarvine Sword Knot is changed out for the other piece of gear that I'm going to be using in its place, these will go to arcane runestones to increase our deflect. And lastly, the Ivy Grown Grimoire of the Companion, armor penetration and combat advantage, and using empowered runestones here as well. We are still using potency. and the Warlock's Wisdom for maximum hit points and combat advantage, the Iron Golem's Presence for maximum hit point and deflection. We did change out our companion that was in this slot that was giving us 10% incoming healing bonus and 8,000 maximum hit points, I believe. So we switched this out for 16,000 maximum hit points with the Bard's Discipline, and then still using the Moonshire Druid's Wisdom for the 6,000 hit points and 2,000 critical avoidance, and using the Ziggy's Insight for the 32,000 maximum hit points. And I think that covers everything for companions. It's not a whole lot to go over there. Just made that one change with the one companion and a couple changes to the companion gear. Taking a look at boons, we did make several changes in our boons. So on the first row, we're taking power, we're dumping in crit, and we're taking the HP. The second row, we are taking power. We did lose the defense and picked up the marathon runner just for a little extra movement speed. And then of course still taking the HP. And the tier 3, taking the power, taking the combat advantage, of course the HP, and still taking the companion influence. Our tier 4, we're taking power, we're taking accuracy, we're increasing our accuracy a little bit just to make sure that in fights none of our attacks are being deflected, so we're getting all of our damage to help make sure we manage our threat well. Also taking the deflect still, and of course the HP. In our tier 5, we're still taking second wind for the increased stamina regen, and we did get rid of our incoming healing in this slot. And then for master boons, we're still taking focused retaliation. Powers is all still the same. Not going to go over this again. Nothing has changed here. So we will go right onto our character sheet and start looking at our gear. So firstly, our helmet, the fancy duelist mask of the Cormier. This gives Challenger's Might. When in combat with only one enemy, your power is increased by 5,000. This is my preferred helmet for Tom, things like that. It's really good in boss fights because you're just going to get that flat 5,000 power increase there. Alternatively, the other helmet that I would like to have is, of course, the Lion Guards. And we would be taking the Lion Guards Raid Sallet. When your stamina is over 75%, your power is increased by 5,000. It's pretty easy to manage your stamina and keep it over 75% when clearing or soloing whatever content you're doing. So this is a great option to give you that increased 5,000 power all the time. Of course, that doesn't work very well in places like Tom, where we're blocking the annihilation and our stamina is low. We have to regen our stamina and things like that. It's a little bit harder to manage, so I would still use the fancy duelist masks in that scenario. And we are using tactical enchantment rank 14, and modification is hit points. So all of our gear on the left is still modified with hit points. That's not going to change. So our chest piece, the Infernal Forge Chainmail, gain 1000 defense for each player in your team. This isn't extremely good and not the chest piece that I want, but it is the one that I will be using until I get the one that I want, which is also the Lion Guard's chest piece, which is going to be the Lion Guard's Raid Scale Mail for the 2500 armor pen. When you critically strike with your powers, you have a 10% chance to restore 5% of your maximum hit points. I think that's going to be the best in slot, and that's what I'm going after. Obviously, my defense is well overcapped for even the newest content, so the 1000 defense isn't something that I really need, but this is, the next best in slot option for me. And we are still using our gigantic enchantment in our defensive slot here for the deflection, and of course Bark Shield enchantment. For bracers, we're using the Spike Defender Vambrace for the armor pen crit strike and the awesome buff that you get from this. So as long as you're able to manage this buff and maintain it well, you're basically getting, a constant 5,000 extra power from this as well. And we're actually still using the tactical enchantment in this utility slot as well. Our weapon set we have upgraded to the Lionheart Greatsword and Sword Knot. This we keep with the increased Challenger Slash damage for the modification. Challenger Slash is our main threat generator, so I choose to add that extra damage to that. Offensive slots, of course, Radiant, and our weapon enchantment slot is Vorpal. Our Sword Knot, we're using the Tenebrous enchantment, rank 15 here, and the Radiant enchantment, of course, in our defensive slots. For our boots, the Armando's Dueling Boots. This is best in slot, I believe, right now for anything Tom and above. And I do run this with the tactical enchantment for those areas. Anything lower than Tom, such as Lom or random Qs or just soloing, we would use our Rusted Iron Leggings for the 5% increased damage, and we would run that with our Dark enchantment instead of the tactical. Our neck and waist set are still the same. We're using the Reflective Collar, Dark in the utility, and Radiant in the offense. Mirror Plated Belt, Dark in the utility, and Radiant in the defense. And we're still using the Erratic Drift Globe to complete that set. And for the maximum hit points and deflection that you get from the Erratic Drift Globe. We are still using our Ebonized Ward Ring, Radiant enchantments, and we did switch to the Defending Ring of the Sentinel, of course with Radiant enchantments. The 20k defense from this ring makes up for the defense that we dumped from a couple of our companion gear pieces. Using the Infernal Forged Assault Shirt for the armor pen and accuracy. The action point gain from the bonus skill isn't that great, but you know, it's okay. And then using the Infernal Forged Ward Trousers for the defense and deflection. Again, bonus skill's not all that great, but it's okay. And still using, of course, Radiance in both the offensive and defensive slots. And all of our gear on our right side is all reinforced with stamina regen armor kits. For the rest of our gear, our artifacts, we are using the Hallister's Blast Scepter for the maximum hit points, power, crit strike. We are still using the Wheel of Elements for the hit points and primarily the stamina regeneration, Erratic Drift Globe, and the Staff of Flowers for the power and crit strike. So I think that about covers everything with the build that has been changed. Excuse me. Current item level 26,670. Not a super big deal as long as you got the item level to get into the content that you want to get into. So yeah, that's pretty much everything. This is my current build for Mod 18 with all gear, enchantments, substitute gear for different scenarios, etc., etc., that I'll be using and carrying into Mod 19, like I said, as long as there's no crazy changes to anything in a patch or something along those lines. You can see with the changes that I made, I brought my current HP up to 762. That is unbuffed with no foods or potions and not using my class feature that increases HP. So pretty good shape. Yeah, I believe that's gonna pretty much wrap this video up. I was trying to keep it kind of short, so was trying to move through things as fast as I could. As always, feel free to drop a like on this video if you enjoyed it and it was helpful to you in any way. Feel free to drop questions or comments in the comment section, and I will answer those as soon as possible. And feel free to subscribe to the channel if you're interested in seeing more Barbarian Sentinel content in the future. Thanks for watching and have a great day.